Hello, the game has started. It's me to go fast. This looks close to a bingo. I can't see one. The V is the least bingo-y tile, so I'd like to get rid of it. And I'd like to play a short word to keep a bingo-y set of tiles. So, lav, I think, does the job. 12 points. Not great. I don't think there's a 7 here. Through an O, I would have summoned. And there may be some other 8s. Now, what about the floaters on the board at the moment? Can't see anything with the L. Or the A, or the V. I'm not sure about unsummed. Should a U be available? In terms of sorting this rack out, I certainly want to play off the U and one of the M's. Ah, the O not quite in the right spot for summoned. Ho takes an S in front for future reference. I think this sorts the rack out. 25 points. 35 points. I think I'll go with the extra points. This isn't a particularly S-friendly board. Actually, I won't, because I don't think takes an S. So, can I improve on this? No, I think this is fine. That looks pretty promising. Is there a 7 here? Well, I have Andantes in column 8, which I think is good. I think Andante takes an S. I'm still wondering if there's a 7 letter play with this rack. If there is, it'll be very high probability. And I'll be kicking myself to have missed it. Can't see anything through the L or the V, so it's just Andantes at the moment. I think takes an M in front, which would require the blank to be used as an M. Great, Andantes remains available. Let's see if it's good. £80 points. And that's a pretty good pickup. I would have libraire through an R. I can't see a 7. I've got the ABLE and IBLE endings. I have biserial through the S. I'm wondering if there's something through the T. Ah, my opponent takes the S. How annoying. Ionize takes an L in front, which I have, but my current focus is on a bingo. Radiable, I don't have the right letters for. This looks a good set of tiles. What about, and there's some good floaters with the D, N and T. Now what about the N? I've got the IER ending. And again, if I miss a bingo, it's going to be a very high probability one. 17 minutes on the clock. The N or the T look the most likely. I don't think Liberati, well, I'm pretty confident Liberati isn't good. Am I missing any other floaters? Well, there's the L of lathe. "16 minutes on the clock." I can get 19 for bail, but that doesn't leave a particularly good rack leave. I just feel that there's something here and I'm missing it. Well, I'm not seeing it. So I need to think what to do. Certainly play off one of the I's. It would be good to play off the B as well. I'm finding it hard to let go of this rack in terms of finding a bingo, but I need to. I'm thinking to play just BI somewhere. So I could play DIB here for 12. Well, I think I can do better than that. I don't really like having a low score and a vowel-heavy rack leave. UH takes a D after it. So where can I play my B? I'm tempted to keep these floaters open because my rack is bingo-y. Let me see what this looks like. Well, this could be a bad idea. IER isn't a great keep. Well, I think I spent enough time. I have to play something, so I'm playing this. Through an R, I would have Lauria. I can't see a 7 with this rack. I can't see anything through any of the floaters. But I do have the W for score, and that goes well with vowels. Nice play by my opponent. 42 points for him. J takes an O in front, but I have nothing to go after the I. So I can't make maximum use of the J. So where do I play off OW? Certainly I could play it down here. That's 22 points. Yeah, and that's quite a good rack leave. Frailer, I think, is good. Frailer, frailest. Is there anywhere for that to play? I don't think so. Wow, 52 points for my opponent. He has nearly caught me up. And I still have a slender lead. So, nowhere to play Frailer. Disappointing. Do I have anything from H1 across to the Z? Close to Fritz. Close to Aroz. So, no. Now, I want to try and catch up on time a bit. My F can go after I. My A can go after J. But I don't have a play there. Now, what about placing my F here? I could play if, but that's keeping 2 R's and an L, which is a poor combination. I think it's Flaria is an anagram of frailer. But that doesn't go either. Still got nothing to go in front of UH, which I think is a D and a P. So not an easy rack to deal with. Quite a tight board. Nothing goes after UH. I'm just looking to see if I can play through any pairs of letters in Andantes and Jivia. I can't see such a play. So I'm struggling and I'm short on time. Only 11 minutes left. My opponent has played quite quickly. So I need to play off an F and an R. Where can I do that? Well, I can't see anywhere, and this scores well, so I'm going to go with this for 28. It doesn't give anything away. No scoring tiles this time. No 7-letter bingo that I can see. I can't see a 5-letter play ending in Z. But I can now play Ran beside Jivia. Not a great score, but it sorts the rack out. 19 points. And it means I'll be able to play that quite quickly if my opponent doesn't block it, which he does. But has he provided another opportunity? I don't have anything to go next to G, but my R can go next to Jar. That forces my E to go here. So I can play Real. Do I want to play that? Would Renal be better? I think Renal is better. L and R don't go, or N and R don't go fabulously well together. And this is more points. 24. Great. I draw the blank. So I think I have Parader, if that word is good, in row C, making DUH. And although I have doubts, I will play that if that's all I can see. I was going to say I had a Parallel, but I don't. 20 points for my opponent. He's played in row N. So, do I go with Parader? If I want to play in row C, my P could go above UH as well as my D. So I think I will look for other bingos briefly. I am mindful of the time. That is Parader, which may not be good. I haven't seen anything yet. Ear Park, not good. Well, I'm going quite quickly. I may be missing words that are good. Still nothing. Okay, so I think I will try Parader. It'll be disappointing if it comes off, as always. But sometimes you have to play words where you have some doubt. Parader 73. Pretty good pickup. Close to a bingo. If this stays on, I've got a 100-point lead. I've got an S for going after Parader. Great, not challenged, or it's good. Is there... I had an instant feeling that this was a good rack, so I think that means it must be close to a bingo. not too many floaters to consider. 8 minutes on the clock. My opponent's provided an R. I've got the cyan beginning. There's also the O and the E. Can't see anything. Now, what about playing a non-bingo in column 15? That forces my S on the end of parader. Can I get a C or a Y on this double letter square? I'm not sure I can. Ah, well, I can. I can play easy. And the rack leaves okay. It's good in terms of vowel consonant balance, no duplicates. All, well, the C and the N are bingo-y, and the U is not bingo-y, but it's helped by the N. 42 points is great, and it's a good score, and it's taking out a hot bingo lane. It's playing off 4 tiles, which is quite good, with a blank still to come. Am I sure I haven't missed a bingo here? I've got the un prefix. Now, there was also, well, I've already considered an R, so I don't need to consider the R of paraders. I think I will go with this. Great. I have cut line, line cut, and tunicle. Is there anywhere to play any of those? Rope takes DRS, so, and Y. It doesn't take anything I've got. Ooh. 69 points for my opponent. A good bingo for him. He is now 50 points behind. 11 tiles in the bag, and they are not particularly bingo-y. Very few vowels. 1, 2, 3 vowels out of 18 tiles. Now, my first priority is to see if I have a bingo. The P is the only floater to consider that from the word my opponent has just played. I can't see a bingo there. The R of ropes looks promising. But I can't see a bingo. 6 minutes left. The R of paraders is just another R. So, what to do? Now, do any of my bingos play underneath poorest? No. Nothing goes in front of boy. Nothing goes after UH. What about a play? Do any of my bingos play in column 13 parallel to renal? Jar takes an L. No. Jar takes nothing else. 5 minutes on my clock. Do I have a 5-letter play ending in Z? Close to Nertz. Can't see anything. So I want to hang on to my vowels. There's a Q out there. I don't want that. Although it might be worth holding on to the U in case I draw it. The C is my scoring tile. Now maybe, well, I don't think the R is particularly useful for my opponent because the remaining tiles are really unbingo-y, so I don't think I need to cut off bingo lanes. What I could do is play Colt down here, which stops my opponent scoring off the Z and keeps a whole bunch of vowels. 12 points. Great, I have a scoring tile in the W. My opponent did have the Q, he's played it off. 7 tiles left. I've got a 40-point lead. Do I have a bingo through the R? I no longer have to keep hold of the U, or it is no longer of such value. Word would sort my rack out. Can't see anywhere for that. 3 minutes on my clock. I don't want my opponent to catch me without bingoing. So where can I play my W? A very tight board. Well, it certainly goes next to this A. Seven tiles left. I was thinking about playing Suin, but I'm mindful of the vowels, so I think I'll keep hold of the E, and the S is always useful. So 24 points. That doesn't feel a great move, but I'm short on time. And if my opponent plays in column 14, which I've opened up, he's not going to bingo with only one tile. But he's great. He's got a rack full of consonants. Fantastic. So 2 minutes on my clock. I don't want to run out of time. Where can I play my X? XU is good. I can play Redux across here. I'm just thinking of the time. I'm keeping two vowels, which is good. This provides nothing for my opponent. There may be a much better X play, but I don't have the time to find it. I think this is going to work out quite well. I've got a 50 to 60 point lead. My opponent's not going to catch me with what he's got. Can I go out in one? I've got Kuris in column 6. That works. I don't have a 4-letter play on my rack. I've got nothing which goes after AW. Purus takes nothing in front. Jar takes a K. So I could play Suk. It doesn't go out, but it scores. So I haven't seen anything as an outplay apart from Kuris. And there may not be another one. My opponent's got a lot of time left. But he doesn't have a great rack. He could block Kuris by playing in column 7. So, is there an alternative out? Well, I can't see an out, but I think I have guaranteed the win. So if my opponent blocks my out, where can I play my K? Oh, I do have a tile which goes after AW because K does. But I can't get that doubled. But it's another spot to play Suk. Where else can my K play? I think Sick is good. Ski certainly is. Renal doesn't take an S. "13 minutes on my opponent's clock. Let's just have a look at the publicly available information on him while we're waiting for him to play. From India, tournament player. Number of unfinished games low. Excellent. Well, I'm just waiting for my opponent to play now. Which he does, and he does block the Kuris spot. So, 2 minutes on my clock. He's got a hopeless rack. So I am going to be able to play out in 2. What's the best way of doing that? So I've got 2 spots for sook. This one up here will score the most. But since I can't go out in one, it may be better to play 2 sets of 2 tiles. This is only 23 points. But I think I will go with this. Now, where can my I play? 2 points for IO. Four points for lie and oi. And that's it. Okay, so lie and oi it is. My opponent is going to struggle to score. He gets 7 points for dot. Nothing new provided for me. So, lie and oi for the win. Just wait for my opponent to formally end the game. Which he does. And the final score, 343 to my opponent, 415 to me, a winning margin of 72 points. So, quite a good game. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. And this was the choice, a 5-letter play for the mid-20s or a shorter play, keeping a better rack leave. And I prefer the shorter play. This was my opponent played ho, this was my rack. I didn't see that. Yep, that would have been quite nice, 38 points, because lave takes a D. Yeah, that would have been really good. So, still quite good, but not as good as My opponent's rack, he played UH, and this was my Andante's rack. That was best. Standen was the 7. Well, that would have been painful if I'd have missed that. But that's one of the advantage of knowing more words. It's sometimes you don't see the common one, but you do see the less common one, and that gets you out of jail. Or in this case, is the better play. Horrible rack for my opponent. He had all the vowels at the beginning and not enough at the end. Now, did I have a bingo here? Oh, bilinear. Bilinear through the N. Disappointing to miss that, having spotted by serial. Anyway, I then played Bale, which didn't feel great. And I think got me into some trouble. Now, my opponent played Jivia. This was my rack, and it was a tricky one. I think I played Woe in the end for 22. And yeah, I think that looks okay. It's certainly the best rack leave on offer here, and it's not giving up that many points. My opponent plays Zooey. I have Frailer, know where to play it. Ref. That's pretty good. J6. Because Boif is good. I didn't consider that hook, so that would have been good. Instead, yeah, I played if. Well, ref, certainly a lot better. Better score and better rack leave. Now, my opponent plays Gad, and I have a poor rack. I played Renal, which looks okay. And this is my opponent's rack. Did he have a bingo? Nope. He played Jibe. Wow, Parader, the only bingo. Delighted to have spotted that. This is my opponent's rack. No bingo there. He plays Rope. And this was my rack. Kearney, that looks a strange word. I wonder if it takes an S. Down through the R for 38 points, retaining the S. That's nice. Yeah, quite a few high-scoring plays there. And easy for 42. Well, I like that play. It does burn the S, but it also takes out a good bingo lane. And I think if I'd have played Kearney, my opponent would have been well placed to bingo in column 14. Instead, he bingoed for fewer points in row E. Now, this is my tunical rack. Oh, lincture. Wow, bad miss. Okay. So I made Colt. Dreadful in comparison. But I had done enough by this stage to secure the win. My opponent has a dreadful rack. But he could have changed here. 8 tiles in the bag. He could have changed, and there were bingo lanes. I think I'd have been tempted to chuck back all 7. Anyway, he played QI. This was my rack. Great, I didn't miss a second bingo. Win for 24. This was my... Right, this was my play. I played win for 24. Swin for 35 would have burnt another vowel, which I didn't want to do. So my opponent plays frag. This was my rack, and I was short on time. I played redux for 21. There was duxes. Down here, duxes available for 46, which would have been better. My opponent's rack, awful. My rack, I didn't have an out. H13 souk looks best. My opponent's rack, he plays dot. And finally, well, I didn't spot the best out. It was Vin and Gaddy, and then Lie and Oi was after that. So, another tale of missed bingos with bilinear and lincture. But if you play a solid game, then you can still win despite making such howling blunders. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time.